Save on gas and make big power? Today, we'll transform a stock F-150 into Project Stealth, a dual-purpose 4x4.
Yeah! Yeah!
We'll lift it 6 inches and give it an electronic edge, good enough to make 400 horsepower. All that and more, today on Trucks.
Hey, welcome to Trucks. You know, when people see a lifted up street truck, they assume that it's slow, doesn't handle very well, and is pretty much impractical. Well, today, we're going to build a truck that proves those people wrong.
We're taking the #1 selling truck of all time, the Ford F-150, and we're getting it up in the air with a high-performance suspension. That will allow us the clearance to roll in on some 35-inch tires.
And that will make this a true dual-purpose truck, one we can drive on and off the road whenever we want. But we're not just going skyward with this thing. This is going to be a stealth truck. We're going to throw a bunch more power at the wheels with some new electronics, and we're going to use the ultimate in stealth.
Before we can get our truck sitting above these Toyos, we need to get a suspension system that can handle some performance driving.
The combination of going really fast and going off-road usually only happens in racing, so we turned to FabTech Motorsports. This West Coast fab shop got their start building hardcore off-road race suspensions, and today you can get this technology for your truck.
We're going with a 6-inch performance coilover system. Now, with a regular street truck, you don't want to go more than 6 inches. I'll give you 2 good reasons: safety and practicality.
Now, our truck will get us lift in the front with 2 new cross members to lower our front axle, and these new nodular knuckles to correct the alignment geometry, along with all the hardware you'll need to do the install.
Check out the difference in the stock F-150 coilovers and FabTechs. These nitrogen-charged monotubes have a 2.5-inch nickel-plated steel body over a 2.25-inch piston. The large front coilover can dampen the roughest off-road trails.
We've already removed our front suspension and started on the passenger side. Now with this kit, you have to do a little bit of cutting, but it's nothing to be afraid of. So your diff normally sits up in here, and with it dropped down with the lift kit, this crossmember bracket's in the way. It's got to go. Installing the 6-inch lift will take you the better part of the day to complete. Next, the bolts that attach the rack to the frame need to be replaced with the kit's bolts and spacers. This lowers the rack and corrects any bump steer issues. The differential drop brackets go in first. Make sure when you put these in, your captured nuts face inward.
Now we're ready to reinstall the front differential, but make sure to leave the bolts loose. The FabTech rear crossmember goes into the stock lower control arm pockets. It reuses the factory bolts, but again, leave them loose until later. Now, align the differential up and then bolt it together using a small amount of thread lock.
This cross tube links the differential brackets together and acts as a stabilizer.
These rack mounting tabs, they need to be ground down about 1/4 inch to make sure you get some good clearance.
The front crossmember goes in next with the single tab facing the back of the truck. It goes in the front lower control arm pockets. Then, the factory lower control arms can go in place with the new cam bolt kits. The skid plate is next and attaches to the new crossmembers. Now with everything in place, we can tighten down the bolts, except these cam bolts, and then torque them to spec. These Dirt Logic coilovers go in place of the originals.
They'll provide improved control, especially with bigger tires. And we'll follow those with the new nodular steering knuckles.
Now reinstall the factory CV flange into the knuckle.
Slide the CV half shaft into the knuckle from the back side. And with the new spacer in place, attach the shaft to the differential and torque it down. The impact struts go in. The sway bar goes on the new bracket.
Now, the factory rotors and spindles can go back in place. And finally, the tie rod ends.
Install the brake line relocation brackets, gently pulling the line down about 4 inches. Okay, the first thing we want to do to the rear suspension is replace this rear brake line bracket. This lets you reuse your stock brake line, and it keeps it from being stressed when the axle moves.
Next, we'll install the drive shaft spacer between the shaft and the rear axle. The new lift blocks go in place with the bump stop facing inward. Use the new, longer U-bolts and hardware. All right, our lift kit's all in place. Now it's time to get rid of this restrictive factory exhaust. So when we come back from the break, we're going to open up this F-150. Stick around.
And we'll add some gnarly 35s and frame them with big flares.
Hey, welcome back to Trucks, where we're building a stealth sleeper out of this 06 F-150. Now, we've just installed the 6-inch FabTech lift kit. Now it's time to add the muscle.
The stock system's off the truck, and this is what we're going to replace it with. Flowmaster's American Thunder custom fit system. This fits both 2- and 4-wheel drive trucks. It has mandrel bent aluminized pipes, and it comes off into two 2.5-inch duals after this Super 40 series muffler. It's all finished off by these beautiful 3-inch polished stainless tips.
Your inlet pipe might need to be trimmed. For our Super Crew, we need to take 6 inches.
On the break, we're going to mount this gauge pod in the A-pillar of our truck.
And this is the gauge that goes in it that's going to monitor our secret weapon. We'll show you that when we get back.
Stick around.
Next, how to wake up a stock F-150. And later, we'll show you just how much.
Welcome back to Trucks. Today, we're turning this 2006 F-150 into a great-looking dual-purpose stealth truck. With a 6-inch lift, 35-inch tires, and pocket-style flares, we changed the ride height and the look. Now, it's time for some engine performance, thanks to an electronic power package that even lets you run nitrous in the new F-150.
Yeah, nitrous gives us the stealth factor in our truck, and that means power. A lot more power. And it all begins with this programmer from Edge Products. For years now, Edge has been one of the leaders in diesel performance electronics, and you've seen us build some high horsepower diesel rigs using Edge products. And now Edge is tearing into the gasoline market using their state-of-the-art technology for programmers that'll work on your gas engine truck. This is Edge's new Evolution Programmer. This one-wire power adder will get you an additional 30 to 35 horsepower and an extra 50 foot-pounds of torque. It requires no tools to install, stays in the cab and monitors up to 21 different data parameters from your engine. Installation is easy enough, and this is also one of the fastest downloading programmers on the market, taking only a couple of minutes for the initial install.
This programmer will not only adjust your speedometer for larger tires, you can also adjust the shift points and the line pressure in your automatic transmission. Best of all, you can get 3 to 5% savings in fuel economy.
With larger tires, your tranny is put under more load. The Evolution solves that with level 1 being transmission performance, changing the shift points and line pressure.
And then level changes from transmission only mode to level 2, towing, which will add power and still let you run regular fuel. And level 3, performance. That will add the most power when used with premium fuel. Each level change takes less than 15 seconds.
But there's even more. Let's say Edge comes up with an upgrade for the Evolution. You don't have to buy the whole system all over again. All you do is go to the Edge website, connect a USB cable from your computer to the Evolution itself, and do your upgrade. It's that simple. Now, we've downloaded a specific file to adjust the timing and fuel delivery for this little jewel, the Edge Nitrous controller. Now, more and more vehicles are switching to a drive-by-wire setup, and that means no throttle cables, which makes it a little tricky to hook up Nitrous. But this box works with the Evolution to arm, fire, and purge your Nitrous system, all within the parameters that you set. So, let's go put this on the truck.
Everybody knows Nitrous adds more oxygen to your engine, which means you can add more fuel. We're using a 100 horsepower shot of Nitrous.
This Nitrous controller is the very first one off the assembly line, and the guys down at Edge asked us to try it out.
For inside the cab, the Evolution kit comes with a custom pod designed for a factory-installed look. It keeps the screen in view from the driver's seat, and now that the Nitrous controller is hooked up, we can set our parameters.
We want the Nitrous to come on at 90% throttle and kick in at 3,200 RPM. Plus, we're going to set the trans temp warning at 225 degrees. By setting this alarm, we're not going to have to worry about overheating our transmission while tearing it up off-road. The wiring's pretty simple. The Edge controller will switch on your arming relay when you reach your specified RPM and throttle position settings.
With our parameters met, our Nitrous controller fires our solenoids, injecting fuel and Nitrous into the engine.
But the best thing is that the power is really only there when we need it. And at $3 a gallon, driving around a 400 horsepower vehicle, it can get a little expensive. But with the Edge Evolution and Nitrous controller, we can drive around all day long and get great gas mileage. But when we hit that off-ramp,
We got a 400 horsepower stealth truck. So stay with us, because when we get back from the break, we're gonna take it out and have some fun.
yeah.
Hang on. It's dual-purpose fun on and off the road.
Welcome back to Trucks. We're finally out of the shop, and our Stealthy F-150 feels comfortable on the highway and solid in the turns.
And those big Toyos were unexpectedly quiet, even at speed.
We can really feel the Edge's extra 35 horses and 50 foot-pounds. But with the system arm for Nitrous, all hell breaks loose. And you can have just as much fun in the dirt. We said the suspension was built for speed, so we left the pavement to tear up some trails.
you go. Our F-150 is a lifted truck that certainly isn't slow, and it handles really well on and off the road.
With the Edge Evolution, the Nitrous controller, the lift kit, the exhaust, like Paul says, this is a very capable off-road vehicle like you guys saw. And with the power we're making, we're in Corvette territory.
And that's what we mean by stealth truck.
You better believe it. Every once in a while, something comes along that's so cool that we just have to show you guys. This is the world's first truly retractable electric convertible top for Wrangler-style Jeeps. This is the Barker top from Dennis and the guys at Barker Gang Garage, and it replaces those flimsy tops that come standard on 97 and up Jeep Wranglers. The Barker Gang has genetically altered the basic DNA of a soft top to produce one that goes up and down in seconds, effortlessly, with a touch of a button. Pretty cool, huh? The kit comes with its own electrical harness and the switch that you mount in your dash to operate the system. It's got latches, these side panels, and these electric motor feet with the motors already attached, and these mounting plates to mount them on. And with the kit fully assembled in your Jeep, this is what operates the electric top. The Barker top itself comes already wrapped around the framework with double the insulation of a normal top for a dramatic improvement in noise reduction and for better weather protection. You can get your own convertible top from Barker Gang Garage for about $2,900. Thanks for watching Trucks. See you guys next week.
Let's roll.
Let's go.